Okay. First question is, what initially drew you to the Microdosing Facilitator program? So I was initially drawn to this program due to my familiarity with veterans who have experienced success with psychedelics in a macrodosing capacity, and specifically for post-traumatic stress symptoms. And I also have clients who have found success with ketamine and the ketamine treatment protocols. And while I don't practice any of this, or I haven't leading into the course, I very much want to understand what's happening and where the success is coming from. Not knowing and not being a guide in the past, it was really helpful for me to follow the science. There's a lot that exists in the social media space and in the Google space, but I was really interested in understanding what is the scientist, and I want to hear that what is the science, and I want to hear that from the scientists, and what are the legal ramifications of even studying this and understanding it. And I wanted to hear that from lawyers. So I think for me, really knowing how to help and how to understand how to advocate as well, if this treatment is helping people, and I know it is, it's very important to me to go straight to the top in terms of sources and understand where are we now with this, and know that I'm going to have a resource for where are we at any given time in the future, so that I can help and speak clearly and with true knowledge from the top about what's going on in the space. Okay, the second question is, how has the program impacted your personal and professional life? So far, the program has impacted my personal life from the standpoint that I'm becoming more comfortable having conversations with people about what exists in this space. I don't feel like I'm guessing at what's happening in the space based on what I find on social media and other sources. I actually can talk to my family about this a little bit, and the work that we do with veterans, and how I feel that this can be impacted by better understanding the science behind the psychedelic medicine and plant medicine. So I think that obviously has trickled over into my professional life and coaching. I have a veteran wellness program. We don't do anything with psychedelic treatment, but so many of the people that we're seeing have had success in the past. So again, I feel like it elevates my ability to help care for others who have had this. We can speak intelligently with them about the treatment that they've had or that they're looking at having, and give them resources so that they can use these tools if it's something of interest for them, in order to refer them to something that is professional and not just, sort of an underground community that exists in other countries. We want to be able to provide the resources. So this course has had a very big impact on my personal life and my professional life. Okay, the next question is, what would you say to someone considering enrolling in this training? I've had a few people ask about the training that we're in and the class, and a lot of people aren't familiar with microdosing at all, and I think that's a great reason to take the course. If you are truly interested in understanding what is happening on the forefront of this, in terms of research, any legal interest you may have, anything in this space is taking place in this class. We are educated on what is happening now. I've been very impressed with that. We are getting real-time information from clinical trials that are happening right now, from legal decisions that are being made right now. And so I think anybody that's considering this, that wants to know what's going on and be able to speak intelligently, I think should consider this course. There's nothing else like it. I know I'm not personally interested in becoming a guide for macrodosing or journeys. That's just not a business that I'm in or an interest that I have, but I'm more interested in the day-to-day, long-term treatment for people who have sort of maxed out their options when it comes to traditional medicine. I want to be able to give them resources. So I would say, if that is of any interest to you, consider it. And if you're sensitive to what's happening in the space at all, I think it's important that you know what's happening and that you're not using a social media source alone to use as how you manage your own interest in plant medicine or someone else's if you're in any professional capacity to help. Okay, the next question, how has your confidence and skill set as a facilitator evolved since taking the training? I'm probably not going to say anything about that because I don't do this in my training. I guess I can say a little bit about it, but my background is in coaching. It's more wellness coaching and fitness coaching over the last few decades. And one of the things about this course that's been really helpful for me, even though I don't necessarily intend to use this for coaching the same client base that I have otherwise, it's great practice. It's great practice when we role play in class and understand what questions might come up, what contraindications do people have, what does an intake process look like. Right now, when you are understanding that most of this work is sort of secretive, there aren't a lot of processes around it that are consistent, and I think that really helps drive validity in the space, and that's helped even in my regular coaching practice. But I'm able to look at what I do with coaching and apply it in this and see how it's different because of the role play aspect of the class. It's very helpful. Okay, how has the knowledge and experience gained from the program shaped your approach to working with clients or in your professional practice? I think I kind of just answered that, so I won't do that one. All right, what unique aspects of the program do you believe set it apart from other, my motion line. What unique aspects of the program do you believe set it apart from other training programs in the field? I'll be honest, I am not really interested in macrodosing or taking a course on macrodosing or guiding journeys for people who are interested in a day-long sort of adventure in this. I'm supportive of that and understand that it's powerful, but what really sets this program apart is that it's about microdosing. It is about a day-to-day habit and helping people who may not be interested, may not be a candidate for, may be nervous about a macrodosing or a big trip. That's scary, particularly for someone who has no experience in that space. I don't think that's for everybody. I think microdosing is a more reasonable, I think, approach for some people who are interested but maybe a little bit nervous. That was the main interest for me, and I think it really does set it apart. The leadership in the course sets it apart. I just don't know until this course of anybody leading this space, and I'll be honest, when Dr. Jim Fadiman was a part of the program, that was really interesting to me because he has been working in the space for so long that I think the historical perspective is really helpful, and it also has helped us understand what happened almost 40 years ago and what that trajectory has been, and it helps us better understand how we can view what's coming based on the people who never left the space. That's been very helpful. Also, in terms of the faculty for this, there are people who currently are working at MAPS, who are currently running clinical trials, who are open to hearing from us about what we think is interesting and what needs to be tested and researched. And that's just incredibly valuable. There are a lot of knowledgeable sources in this space in terms of psychedelics in general, but to have everything condensed into one course is incredible. It's life-changing for me in terms of understanding. I think it's also really interesting to be part of something that is trying to make change long-term for the success of the people in the space. And it's not just like I said, a social media space for people interested in taking mushrooms and getting high. That's not what this is. And I really appreciate the day-to-day approach to microdosing in general compared to such a deep dive with a macrodose and a travel and a journey to another country. I find that this program sets itself apart with that alone.